Breaking news from Ottawa now. The MP at the center of the election interference allegations, Han Dong, left the Liberal caucus to sit as an independent. We've now got some new information to tell you about him. CTV's Glen McGregor is at the Bureau. He's joining us now with the details. Glen, what are you learning?
Yeah, Marcia, Han Dong's tweeting out a statement today, this morning, saying that he intends to sue Global Television. That is the network that first reported this allegation against Dong, that he allegedly, and we don't have any confirmation of this ourselves, but he allegedly communicated with the Chinese consulate in Toronto, told the consul general that releasing the two Michaels would have helped the Conservatives back in February of 2021, when they were about 2 years into what was ultimately 1,000 days they spent in prison. A very damaging allegation against him, triggered his resignation from the Liberal caucus to sit as an independent, but he maintained at the time that it was absolutely a false allegation. Today we have more detail in this letter. He talks, a very personal letter, talking about his family's history in China, how his father during the Cultural Revolution was sent to a re-education camp, and they ultimately left China 2 months after the Tiananmen Square massacre. He again repeats that he advocated for the Michaels' release, denies that he told the Chinese that they should be kept longer, said it was inconceivable that he would ever argue that somebody who was unjustly accused remain in detention. And he says, yes, he is going to make good on that threat to launch a defamation action against Global News. That'll probably start, over the next few weeks. That begins with what's called a libel letter, essentially a message that you intend to sue for defamation, gives the person it's targeted to an opportunity to retract or change their stories, and then it would ultimately be followed by a statement of claim. That is the formal lawsuit laying out the allegations and demanding damages as compensation. Dong actually, again, explained in his letter why he voted last week with the opposition to support a call for a public inquiry into election interference. He says in this letter he did it to show that he has nothing to hide, but that he also still supports the Prime Minister's decision to appoint the former Governor General David Johnston as a special rapporteur looking into the matter. So another kind of big development in this story. It seems to have legs every day,
Yeah.
Marcia. There seems to be something new on this.
Okay, so I don't know if you can answer this at this point in time, Glen, but do we know how long he's going to be sitting as an independent?
Well, I would imagine it's going to be at least until this matter is resolved. I mean, if the television network, which was to retract their story or some way modify it, maybe that's an avenue for him to come back into the Liberal caucus. This is not the only allegation that Global made against him. They also said he was one of 11 MPs that got support, 11 candidates rather, in the 2019 election that got support from Beijing. Something, again, that he also denies, says that he had no indication that he was being supported by the embassy here or the consulate in Toronto. So, there are lots of allegations swirling around him. He hasn't denied that he has a relationship with the consulate, but many MPs do meet with local consul generals in cities around the country that have consulates, and there are many of them right across the country. So it's not unusual for an MP to have that relationship, and he's said that this is part of his job is representing on behalf of the large number of Chinese Canadians who live in his riding and in the area around Don Valley North and in Markham. So we'll see if the Prime Minister is satisfied and wants him back in caucus, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Lawsuits take, Marcia, a long time.
A long time. Glen McGregor, thanks for joining us with that breaking news.